Can you tell me what's going on?
Huh?
Can you tell me what's going on?
Just hang tight, okay, dear?
Okay.
We're investigating a battery here with your neighbor there behind you,
Adriana?
I guess.
Just let me tell you something. That's her body.
Did you and Ms. Zimmerman have any kind of relationship?
Somewhere.
All right. Did y'all have?
Audriana Zimmerman was a young woman from Crestview, Florida, who became the victim of a tragic crime in 2009. At 19 years old, she was a mother to an infant daughter. On March 11, 2009, Zimmerman was lured to a remote area where she was brutally attacked. Audriana moved to Florida hoping for a fresh start, wanting to make enough money for her 2 babies. However, nothing could have prepared her for the nightmare she suffered. Audriana would lose her life in a violent and unimaginable way by 3 bad-minded monsters who showed no remorse. What happened to Audriana, and how are these 3 suspects linked to Audriana's death? Welcome to Mystery Hour, where we peel back the layers of criminal cases, exploring the darkest corners of human behavior. Florida, known as the Sunshine State, is located in the southeastern region of the United States. It is bordered by the Gulf of Mexico to the west, Alabama to the northwest, Georgia to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the east, and the Straits of Florida to the south. It is famous for its diverse geography that includes numerous lakes, rivers, and wetlands. Tourism plays a pivotal role in Florida's economy, with attractions like Walt Disney World, the Kennedy Space Center, and numerous beach resorts drawing millions of visitors annually. However, on March 24, 2010, in Pensacola, Florida, a man named Terrence heard shouting from outside his house near the woods.
That's the worst one I've seen. I couldn't believe she was still conscious and alert with the amount of burns she had.
Terrence wasted no time in searching for the person calling for help. He wasn't expecting much, thinking it might just be a teenager who had gotten lost in the woods. However, Terrence saw something he could never have imagined. He infiltrated the woods and scarred himself with one of the worst sights ever. Likewise with the paramedics, explaining that it was the worst one I have seen. So what exactly did Terrence see? Audriana Zimmerman, who was 19 years old, was slowly walking on her 2 feet, aimlessly begging for help.
This lady on fire right now. She what? She burnt all up. You gotta. She burnt? She burnt. Somebody probably set the car on fire or something. I don't know. She just come out of the woods to my house.
Audriana was burnt to a crisp, yet still managed to pick herself up, enduring excruciating pain. Terrence had to think quickly as he called 911, telling them that a girl was on fire and had come out of the woods.
She was kind of moaning. She was just in a sitting position, and the way she was looking was it hurt to move anywhere, so she was kind of in whatever position she was the most comfortable. It was in a sitting with her arms stuck straight out. She was moaning, and it was hard to understand her due to her jaw. Her jaw was very deformed and stuck out. So she kept, mumbling, help me, help me.
Terrence made Audriana sit on the porch chair outside his house as the ambulance was on the way. The ambulance crew stated that she was in severe pain, yet she managed to find a position that was comfortable for her. Surprisingly, throughout all this, Audriana still managed to speak, desperately trying to tell the officers and paramedics who did it.
In reference to the call, we're on scene and fire saying that the patient, she's got second-degree burns over 100% of her body, but she's saying that there was no vehicle involved.
Miraculously, Audriana managed to tell the officers that she was dragged out of her house, tased, hit with a crowbar, and set on fire. With the damages being so severe, the paramedics could not tell what her skin color was. The severe burns suggested that Audriana was set on fire for quite some time, yet she powered through to ensure she received the justice she deserved.
She told me yes, and she named 3 girls, a Tina, a Heather, and a Brittany, and I asked her why they did it to her, and she said, I thought we'd made up.
Before Audriana fell into a coma, she said Tina, Heather, and Brittany. This was enough for the police to start investigating. As Audriana was a single mother, she wanted to know if her babies were okay before she passed out. The police went to visit Audriana's home and saw that the babies were safe, removing them from the home to safety. While there, the police spoke to Audriana's neighbors. Shockingly, Tina Brown, her daughter Brittany Miller, Heather Lee, and her husband Darren all lived close to Audriana, surrounding her home. Suspicion started to grow as they all took over an hour to respond to the police. Their evasive behavior gave them away to the police as they were reluctant to speak about what had happened. Tina, Heather, and Darren were taken to the station to be interrogated as they slowly began to look like the main culprits.
Do you know the situation we're talking about here?
No, sir. That's why I keep asking you what's going on.
Okay. Where have you been all afternoon? What have you been doing?
I've been here at the house. I was cooking. I see Adriana earlier today.
Who?
Adriana, my neighbor. She was down this way by my aunt's house talking with us earlier. And then I had went back in the house. I cooked and I laid down after that.
Heather explained to the officers that she had spoken to Adriana the same day of the attack and that Adriana was going out on a date. However, this was shut down by the officers as Adriana did not say this. The shift in blame became more evident as they all came up with fake stories that were unrelated to the questions the detectives were asking. They were all asked why they took so long to answer the door to the police. Heather said they were scared of the police. However, Tina said they were watching a movie.
They didn't knock on my door.
Oh yeah, they beat on that door.
Not on lot one they did because I was laying right there on the couch and I didn't hear no locks.
Even your husband said they beat on the door and you wasn't going to answer the door. And then Tina said they beat on the door and y'all didn't answer.
Lies upon lies showed the detectives that they were the culprits as they all could not get their stories straight. From Heather saying they were not together until the police came, to Tina saying they were together all day long. The night at the station consisted of more lies as the detectives pressed for more information, wanting just the truth.
We did get a chance to talk to Adriana before she went to the hospital. She told us a few things. She told us who did this to her. She told us where they took her and what they did to her. Okay? Why do you think I'm talking to you?
I would never hurt her. I always have protected her when she got into it with people in that trailer park.
Slowly, the detectives broke the news to Heather, saying Adriana had told the truth to the officers. However, Heather still acted as if she did not do anything wrong. The detective kept pushing with more details, wanting a confession from Heather, as he explained what Heather and her friends did to Adriana. Yet each time Heather revealed too much information, she would continue lying and change the subject. Tina, on the other hand, was very different, but visually she gave away that she was anxious. Rubbing her neck, having her arms in her sleeves, Tina gave many signs for the detectives to pick up on.
You tell me, if me and Heather were together doing this, then how is Heather going to be already in the house and I'm not in the house?
Don't know.
Tina was also confronted for the inconsistencies in her stories and slowly became angrier. They remained at the station for the night, and as morning struck, Brittany arrived back home and was taken by officers. Tina shouted, "That's my daughter," suggesting she wanted to speak to Brittany, her daughter. Tina was scared she would get into trouble by her own daughter. The detectives confronted Brittany.
What'd you do to get out of here?
I broke my pinky. It's really slapped.
Tell me how that happened.
Mallory, I was cleaning, we were in my room cleaning up my room, and I asked Mallory to toss me my key. And when she went to toss it, I went like that to try to catch him, and that's when I hit like the corner of the door right there.
Yet she did not crack under pressure. However, detectives had already confirmed that the car Brittany used to flee the police had bloodstains. Back at the crime scene, the investigators also found Adriana's hair, the crowbar that was used, and Adriana's burnt shoes. As the interrogations ended, the investigators were in contact with Tina's neighbors and friends and quickly discovered the truth. On April 7th, Tina's relatives called the investigators to explain what happened. Tina called her mother and confessed that herself, Brittany, and Heather jumped Adriana. She also confessed that Tina lit Adriana on fire in the woods. Tina ordered Brittany to get away and clean the car before coming back to the house. On April 8th, Adriana passed away, and the detectives showed Tina Adriana's burnt body while trying to get Tina to confess to her murder.
Just let me tell you something. That's her body. Hey, let me look at. I want you to look at him so I know you understand what I'm saying. The medical staff and the medical examiner's office didn't even know if this girl was white or black.
Tina still did not budge and continued to fake her sorrow while on camera. However, Darren, on the other hand, confessed that he had been sleeping with Audriana.
Did you and Ms. Zimmerman have any kind of relationship?
Somewhere.
Audriana's actions came to light, and she became the enemy. Similarly, Tina was sleeping with Heather's husband, Darren. The shocking truth came out as investigators spent weeks finding out the truth about Audriana's death. Tina invited Audriana to the house to make up. When Audriana arrived at the house, Tina wasted no time in tasing Audriana and dragging her up into the bedroom where she was beaten by the trio. Next, they drove her to the woods, taking turns tasing Audriana's lifeless body. Once they arrived at the woods, they lit her on fire. Tina was sentenced to death. Her daughter Brittany was sentenced to life in prison. Heather was sentenced to 25 years. If you find our content enjoyable, kindly consider leaving a comment, giving the video a thumbs up, and sharing it with your friends. Your support is highly valued. Stay safe, stay informed, and we look forward to seeing you in the next installment of Mystery Hour.